Okay, so
Just
welcome
so
everybody. Thank you for joining. It's so nice to see. Thank you very much, Zzzyyxas, for. How do you pronounce your name actually? That's probably the first question.
I don't even try to do that, but I'd say it's a long Z and a less long I. Zzzyyxas, maybe.
Is there a story behind the name, or
There
how did you
is,
choose it?
but it's not really relating to me. It's just you have to sign up to many online sites these days, and you always find that names you want to take are all already taken.
Mm-hmm.
And so I looked for a name that's really obscure. And I remembered a card from another game I play, Magic the Gathering. And that's actually a fun card. It's not for tournament game design, but from a fun edition. And there's one grumpy character who made an abyss, Zzzyyxas abyss, that destroys the card that's alphabetically first on the board. Because he is grumpy, he was always the last one because of its name.
Okay, I see.
Never chosen for anything.
I see. And I guess that's not taken very often.
But even here, it seemed to be taken, or in another platform, it must have been taken because it's usually just one Y in the original card, and I had to take a second one.
I see.
Yeah. So Magic is also a very popular game, so it's not too unlikely someone found it before me.
Yeah, but I mean, my nickname has sort of a similar story in the sense that my real name was taken, so I had to come up with something else. How about you, Pirate? Is there any?
the story behind my name is I used to have a different nickname on the board game Arena, which was pretty much just initials. It was a little silly, but people kept calling me Arrr because it was ARHGR8, the number 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of my initials and the word great. And people would say, oh, you're probably not happy because you're saying grr and all that. And so I decided to go with the grr, just the R's. And it's like, what goes with that? And, well, pirate goes with that. So let's go with Pirate R. And if they want to add the grr, they can go ahead and do that. So here I am.
I see. And so I was briefly looking at the tournament. Like you both had quite a you had to body. Can you see the bracket in on the computer? Or?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, you both had. So the Pirate, you had to go through Puhang, Blixt, and QC. That was quite an achievement.
Yes, about the tournament, it was a lot of fun, and I had pretty lucky games. If you guys have replayed any or even one, you could see because QC is a really tough opponent. and so is Blake's. And I mean, all my opponents are really good players. And I had a lot of luck playing all those. So I was pretty happy. And I think I did mention that you had told me when you said actually that, you're in the finals. I had not realized that I had actually made it to the finals, because it's just like, okay, congratulations, you've made it to the next level
Round.
of the tournament. Okay, good. So, but when it's like, oh, it's the final. Oops.
I also didn't expect to make it that far.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you actually kicked me out in the second round. So congratulations to you. and yeah, like
See.
yeah, you
Yes. Oh yes, Zzzzy did.
Yeah, so you beat the organizer of the tournament, Sasha, and this is the player you were mentioning, Block, right?
Yeah, I was mentioning him because he, just like Zzzyyxas knocked you out in the second round, this Wabulence person knocked me out in the second round, and yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. He's been playing very, very well. So yeah, then he got all the way to the semifinals, so that's great for him. But yeah, so I thought that semifinal match between Zzzyyxas and Wabulence, who knows who's going to win, because they both had good wins against strong players. So
yeah, actually, Zzzyyxas, I looked at your achievements, and I think I noticed that. Where was it? So before 100 wins, you already have a monthly knockout badge. Which is there a 50 victories? I don't know. Like I just don't remember. Does anyone remember if there is a 50 victories badge? But like I think it's pretty impressive to get them.
I think so.
You get the monthly knockout badge before that. I think it's.
And did Expert Assassin happen when he beat you?
I actually don't know.
It might be September 4th. That could be.
I could check. Let's see. Maybe there is a better way to do that, because we don't have too many games. Yeah. Correct, Block. Yes, exactly.
So some new records was that?
Yeah. Well, I can say that I was kicked out as the winner of the tournament. So. Well, actually, when did you start playing Innovation?
It's not too long ago. I played one real life game maybe last year or at the beginning of this year, and then I signed up. I don't know when exactly. Let's look at it. And all my other games are recorded here at that platform. So it's 53 games.
Not bad. So you said you said you play Magic the Gathering. Is this helping you?
Yeah. I did, and I did it. I still do, and that's really a long time experience. I do it for 20 years.
Okay.
Wow.
And it's similar like this game. It has many similarities.
Yes. Have you ever played it, Block?
Played it?
No, Block.
I played it in high school, and it sucked up my life for about 4 years. spent
Wow.
lots and lots of money on it. So I have my old Magic cards. I've been wanting to sell them for a while. But yeah. Unfortunately, I got into it right before right after the really the cards that had a lot of value. They were just ending as I got started. And then and while I was playing, they kind of it was like Ice Age and Homelands and all these very old sets that but haven't really accrued in value very much. So yeah.
It's been before I did start to play Magic.
Yeah, I think I started with the 4th edition. Something like
Yeah.
that.
I started like 3 or 4 years later. And this was still the preceding millennium.
How about you, Pirate? Like you are now, like you organize even the tournaments for innovation, but how did you start playing?
Innovation?
Yeah, I was asking Pirate, yes.
Right. Actually, my husband introduced me to innovation. His friends at work brought a deck of cards and they started playing during their lunch break. And so my husband bought a thing and, said, okay, let's give it a try. And so he taught me and my daughter, and we started with 3-player games actually on the table. And of course, and my daughter was the one, she was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 at the time. And she started second game, she's beating us. I'm like, oh, gee. And I'm the mother. It's kind of pathetic when, you learn the same thing at the same time and kids just like, okay, chop you into pieces. And so, but I thought, I wanted to look at the game online and I found this website. I think I found the other website first. What's that other website?
Isotropic?
Isotropic, yes. I found Isotropic and I didn't like it because I could not really see the cards well and whatever. And then I found this website and it's like, wow, I like how the cards look. So I started playing and the default was set at real time. And I had no idea what I was doing. So everybody was just bashing me up and so finally, switched to turn-based and that's when I met Kermit Frog, and we started playing, and play, and he beat me our first 20 games, and he's like, fine, okay, I've had enough, Kermit, and then I beat him, and yes, and then I got mad at Kermit. I said, I don't want you to just let me have the win. What happened in this game? And he's like, I didn't have the right cards to do anything. And at that time, I did not believe him. I thought he was just, taking pity on me, letting me have a, pathetic win. But I think a couple of months down the road, I replayed that game from his angle. And I noticed that he really did not have any good cards. So he wasn't making it up. I really did win. So, but yes, it's, and then I started, and I was into turn-based games at that time. And I played and I kept going on and kept going on. And I would have like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tables of innovation going on at the same time. And people started telling me off at the time, saying, you have no respect for the game. And it's like, oh gosh, okay. So, but yeah, I started cutting down on the number of tables. It's like, okay, I've heard enough, I've been bashed enough. So yeah, that's my innovation history. But I made a lot of good friends, most of you guys. And I love playing with all of you. Well, I don't like losing to all of you, but hey, I love playing.
Zzzyyxas, did you play it with some friends or the first time in real life? Or?
Yes, actually, we are trying to see how several new games which we didn't play or which we played only once are working at this site. And my personal conviction is that they are really well designed, those online applications.
Yeah, personally, I prefer to play innovation on the website and not with the cards.
Yes, I too. And the one game we did in real life was a multiplayer game with, I think, 4 people or maybe 5. I don't recall it exactly, but it was impossible to see how and who would profit from your dogma and what exactly would come out at the end of an activation.
I can't imagine playing with the actual cards because I've only ever played it online, and I feel like you'd be constantly adding up symbols, like literally non-stop, to see who's got most.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing as Millie. It's the fact that it keeps an automatic count of the icons is such a time saver, because playing in real life, I was just always trying to count, and sometimes I would miss one, and then that would make just a really big difference. And so it's nice to have those icon counts. It doesn't mean that I always notice what the icon count is, but it's nice to have it automatically tabulated.
Yes, I agree.
Definitely.
By the way, Millie, I think I never thanked you because you were the one that told me that there were online tournaments. And like
Oh yeah, I remember. You hadn't. We'd played a few times in Arena, I think.
Yes.
But you hadn't played any of the tournaments, had you?
Yeah, and I think Arena is terrible for your mental health, and I think playing in the tournaments, not only I didn't know that there were tournaments, but I also didn't know it was possible to play turn-based. So I was always playing.
Oh really?
Yeah, always real time, and you know how it is, you lose one game and then you start being upset and it gets worse and worse and worse. And instead Millie told me, there are some very nice people there, and she mentioned Pirate Block and JJ Obs, or however it is. And I think for me it was actually very nice also as a player, because with having the time to think about the moves in the turn-based games, I started to considering many more possibilities than before. So I'm very grateful.
Well, can I just say, you were already an amazing player before you started doing the tournament. You were still smashing me.
And I can echo this. I experienced within the tournament how fast players react as soon as their turn is. But I always have to think through all of my options before I can decide what's a really good move. So I take my time, and turn-based is perfect for that.
Yeah.
I think that's where I go wrong. I play really quickly, always. Yeah. And I think probably I'd be better if I learned to slow down a bit. I always play in fast speed if I'm setting up a game. And yeah.
Shall we talk about the final itself?
We can do so.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of questions about translation and reformation.
Perfectly, like we all know.
So what happened there?
And I was nervous. It was a final, and I didn't even expect to get to the half final. So, and it was also a chat situation in addition to that. So I was a bit.
It was very late at night in Germany, right? Because you.
Yeah, this also, yeah. So I really lucked out in the end. In the very end, if you recall it, there were two incidents where I did the top cards of what could have showed up.
Like for getting Empire. Like for using construction.
Construction.
Like at a certain point, I think Pirate had like was missing the green card, and you
Yes.
and you played
Exactly. Yeah,
construction.
that was a very nice. That was a point in that game where it could have been over in 2 turns. Exactly. I have to look up the English names of the cards because it displays them German for me.
Okay, I see.
Exactly. I had construction as my top card.
Yes.
And she didn't have. No, I didn't have construction. I did have construction, exactly. And she missed the green card, so. And then she drew a green card and played it.
Yes, and then you played road building to get rid of it, and she got a new
exactly.
one.
I had a plan to take it out, but then she drew and played a second green card, and that was the end of that Empire achievement plan. But I also had translation prepared already.
Yes.
And yeah, that's where I really messed it up by the order of returning the cards from my. In Magic, it's called graveyard, but here it's a score pile.
Yes, but you just misclicked on the. Like you did it in the wrong order, or?
I thought I would have picked all yellow cards I had there, but after I think I returned medicine also, I found anatomy was still there, and I had the freedom to select my other cards more for usefulness than for icons to return.
And then later, did you also try to get monument with Reformation?
Yeah, you had 6 cards at one point, and you did Reformation, and you tucked 3, and then you did Reformation again, and you passed on the tuck, and that was a surprise to us.
I was not aware of.
I thought that was Attica.
Of that, I think.
I thought it was Attica that had Reformation.
And no, I had actually returned it, I believe, I think to share with Mats, and I had returned it, and of course, I regretted it later.
Oh.
But yeah, the translation took me by surprise as well.
Yeah, but I messed it up, so it at least didn't inflict any harm to your position.
No, but I was going to ask, did you, I didn't go over all the cards you had melded. Were you going to get the world achievement via translation?
Yes, that was the original plan.
Okay.
That was one of the achievements I thought I had for sure. The
Mhm.
icons were all there, but I messed up the order to return them.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you had astronomy coming to the rescue, more or less.
Well, I had a good turn right after that mess up where I played 2 colors to the right, and that kept me in the game. Because I had icon superiority at almost all icons, I think.
Right. All except the factories.
Okay.
Right, because I was able to do corporations and wipe out your red, except that it melted another red on your board, and I was trying to prevent astronomy to work. And I really was hoping you would give me the yellow card, but I think you counted every card that was available.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, sort of thought that.
Yeah, in these recent games, I always keep a list open, a chart open, which displays those cards, so I can plan it better.
Do you keep track of which cards are out and which cards are?
That's too difficult. That's too time consuming. I don't do that.
Yeah, for tournaments at some point I was doing it, but I noticed I was playing worse because it was too much energy to try to figure out what the cards were. And also,
but if you're short of 1 or 2 actions short of winning, then it's interesting to see what you can play for and which play gives you an immediate win or an immediate loss. At the tens, sometimes your opponents can win.
Block, do you keep track of all the cards?
Better. I often found myself in the situation recently where my score pile was quite empty, but the opponent had a lot of points, and I was able to bypass him in technology or her and couldn't win immediately because of that. Because those many of those 10 level technologies win by let the higher scoring person win.
Yeah, I sometimes I don't track all the time, but sometimes there's like certain cards I try to remember, like, oh, has machinery come out, because my hand is really big right now, and it's always an unpleasant surprise. Or did ores come out? Did construction come out? And then sometimes if I'm trying to figure out this actually just happened in a game right now where I was trying to mess with my opponent's board, and sailing had gotten uncovered, and I could share sailing. And so, I have meld 1s and 2s on both of our boards. I was trying to remember, like, what's the top one? Like, because you only know what you returned and don't know necessarily what your opponent returned. So it's sometimes you try to make an educated guess, like, okay, is this going to actually cover up this card that's annoying or not?
Yeah.
Is there a good shot of that?
And actually, I think they changed some of like how the log works, because before you could go basically back to the first move.
Yeah.
And then at the right moment, you could say, okay, let's with a lot of patience, let's find out what that card is, if I know it or not. But right now it goes not so far back, so like one should really take notes. But yeah, and like here was the moment where you were trying to use road building to get rid of.
Yes, exactly. And then there was the second green card. I had to discard another card with a crown symbol to make translation work.
Locke, do you remember how far away was the move with Reformation right now? I don't. Yeah, so this was.
No. Although maybe it was after this this
probably.
translation meld.
Yes.
I think Reformation was on top at the end of that.
Yes, I think so. You'll see it soon.
Like, did you notice that you could get Monument at this point?
Monument is which one?
When you tax 6 cards.
All at once. I was not aware of that option. No.
Okay. I mean, in the end,
Cool,
keeping astronomy helped. So maybe
yes. I just used it to dump my less useful cards for the symbols, and then play as soon as possible. But of course, dumping all might have been better. But then I'm really behind in technology.
Yeah, you still needed 2 points anyway, so it was difficult. I mean, the plus astronomy worked in the end. So.
Yeah. It's a strong card, I think. I like all those cards that warp you into the next age or the age after that. I like to surpass my adversaries. Never possible. Because here I had a good early game, but then Pirate Arrr surpassed my capability to score. So I figured I would probably get shut out from the regular achievements. So I concentrated to get
the
those
special one.
Other, but I did not think that Monument was at reach.
No, here you had, like, if you had got like you couldn't get both translation and Reformation on top, so like you had to choose one between the two. But
that's true.
Yeah. By the way, I wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite card in the game?
Yes, I think mathematics or printing press are.
What was the first? Sorry.
I really like mathematics.
Mathematics.
Mathematic.
And Pirate. How about? Sorry. Please continue.
Because you can always use 2 actions to get to the next age with mathematics. That's really strong.
Yes.
Yeah, mathematics is probably my favorite card as well.
Oh, really?
I know, Swal, you like coal is your favorite, I think.
Yes.
Right?
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, but like the thing with coal is that you can do more or less anything you want. Like, it scores a lot.
Right.
it sort of has a functionality like sailing. Like if you can sort of skip one turn if you need one card in play. Like you can use it to, like, very often you can tack one card and get rid of the ones above. Like, and I think it gives you a lot of flexibility also on the board. Like if there is some card that you want back, you can get it. Like, I really like. So block for you is mathematics.
I like my piles really huge.
Really?
That's why coal isn't as strong in my way of playing, I guess.
I really like industrialization for that. You can get loads of cards on the board and out symbol everything.
Oh, yes. I love industrialization. That is also my favorite card. However, but ever since I, started using satellites, it's now a toss-up between industrialization and satellites because, oh my goodness, satellites is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have my favorite cards for every age, though. And I also have favorite ages. Like, I really like age 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
age 6
has a lot of good cards.
Age 6 and age 8. And so I always try to, if I have mathematics or printing press or something like that, I want to get to age 6 as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Got you.
I think the even numbered ages generally are better than the odd ones. Like 5, I'm like, nah.
5?
7, yeah.
5? But isn't 6 weak when it comes to scoring, except for cunning, basically?
Machine tools.
Like, is there anything else?
Democracy.
Democracy is the other one, yeah.
Democracy, machine tools, emancipation can score.
Yes. Yep, those are the ones. Emancipation, of course, works only if the other player has like a good 6, 7, 8 card in hand.
And it also gives you You've also got vaccination in age 6, which doesn't score for you, but it depletes your opponent's score pile.
No, that's true. No, I'm not this like I don't know, for instance, let's say you use mathematics and you're in a bad situation. I don't think machine tools changes your life.
Yeah, true.
Whereas I think I won many games just when you're at age 5 you get call and then that completely changes what you're doing. I don't know. And if you really need scoring, I think the only comparable card is cunning, but that really obliterates everything.
Right.
See, I find coal does. If I use coal a lot, I end up with no cards left. And you're a bit stuffed.
I had used canning twice in my game, and I had hoped to get what's that thing, monument, but unfortunately I didn't.
You were one short, weren't you?
Yep. So narrowly missed by 1. Oh well.
Okay.
I mean, it could have ended up being a 5 achievements versus 6 achievement games if I had gotten monument, and plus I had the 8th achievement ready when I melted corporations, and I mean instead of achieving number 8, I went for his score because, like I said, I wanted him to not get astronomy.
Yeah.
Yep. And I had replayed the Twitch video yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I really liked it. It was, it was funny how you guys were commenting about every card that had not shown up by that time, and you guys were talking about construction, and well, guess what shows up? Construction. And then my husband was talking about road building, this could be done, that could be done. Bam, road building shows up. I just laughed and laughed. And then Block Monite was talking about level 6 cards that were still available. And yep. And, what I could have done, what I should have done with what's that thing? Canning and machine tools. So it just, that was pretty interesting listening to your point of views. And it was just a lot of fun listening looking at it through your eyes. So I loved it, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you for agreeing to do this. Like for me, like I was I was curious to see how it would work, and if you had a nice experience, I'm very happy. And also, one reason to have a post-match interview was that, like, I remember there was some tournament that I think Swariots won, and after the game, like, everybody joined to start talking about the game, and I thought it was really funny. Like, I really liked it more than not just okay, you won, congratulations, get the badge and farewell. And so I thought maybe it would be nice also to do it for the monthly tournament, so that we highlight the good players that are around.
I think I played better in my preceding games. Probably.
Come on, you were playing at 4 a.m. You have all the excuses.
Exactly.
And you were forced by evil people for streaming needs.
It still feels very, very good to win a tournament. That's very nice. Yes.
That's like we are looking forward to your next achievement.
I hope I can do it a second time, but I'll try to not chat within those games at the same time till I have my full level of concentration.
No, but I wasn't, like, my plan was not to have the chat to talk. It was just I wanted to make sure that people could see me on Twitch. I wanted to have confirmation, because if I start opening the other window, then there is echo, and I just wanted to have some, like, real-time interaction with somebody to check that. That was the only. Okay. I don't know. Is there anyone who still wants to ask something?
I did have a question for Z. Z, I was looking at your innovation history, because I noticed that you were relatively newer to innovation, but of course, playing with the Magic builder game that you mentioned, sounds like you were more used to innovation than I guess some other players have been. But in your innovation history, you have played mostly 4-player games as compared to just the 2-player games.
Yeah, there are some 4-player games, but they don't fire as often as 2-player games. So I think they are more exciting because it really changes the game state tremendously until it's your turn again. And that's a lot of fun for me. So the excitement of it, what you can do after you get another chance.
I don't
Right,
like
right.
it more than 2 people. I find it really, I don't know. I think the thing that I find when there's more than 2 people, players, cards like mathematics and stuff really lose their power because by the time you get round to your next turn, it's often an age higher anyway, just because of how many people are taking cards.
Yeah, that's true, but you have to value their cards for what they do then. There are cards that are broken in multiplayer, like ores.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Also, I guess.
Yes,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, please continue.
I was just going to mention a 3-player innovation experience, 3 or 4-player innovation experience I had online. And it was so interesting because I clicked on machinery, I think, and I got somebody's card, whoever was in the other group that I was, playing against in my opponent's group. And I got all their cards, and for 1 second, I barely saw 1 or 2 cards, and then they all disappeared out of my hands, and they all went into somebody else's hand. And I'm like, what happened? I was supposed to get cards. So everybody was laughing at me because they're like, yeah, machinery works weird.
Machinery is really weird. Yeah, I've had exactly the same.
Yes, I was also confused by that. Still didn't figure it out.
Okay. That's pretty funny. So Z, what questions or thoughts do you have at this time?
Well, one thought is that innovation community seems to consist of really nice people. I felt welcome, even though I'm a quite newcomer here, and stole a tournament.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than that, right?
True, yes. I did not expect that much attention, Frank. And then it's the first time you do it, and you do it with me. That's fine.
I mean, for me, it was. It's really nice that you won, because somehow it also shows like you don't necessarily need to have 1,000 games in your pocket to win a tournament.
And you can make a lot of mistakes in the finals and still win. So that's a bit like Magic. So that the game allows players to win, even though they are not doing all the best plays. So it has a level of chance that keeps people interested in the game and keeps the player base bigger than chess is not a good comparison, but in chess it's the opposite of this game principle, I think. So there's no chance element in it. So the weaker players can win. That makes a game more interesting, I think.
Yeah.
But the good players will still make their way on the top on a more constant base.
Yeah, I think that there is, of course, a luck involved, but like you can still usually find ways to, even if you get a terrible starting hand, you can at least try to do something. Like you can still hope that there is one card that will save you somehow.
Yeah.
Many of you played Hive?
Hives.
Hive. The one with the insects.
I tried it a couple of times. It seemed a nice game. Do you?
Yeah, it is, because that hasn't got any luck. It's almost a bit like chess or something in that, I mean, obviously it's not as complex as chess, but there's not any luck in it at all, because you have the same cards, and yeah, you just, yeah.
Okay. I don't know unless anyone has further questions. Personally, I would be done. And thank you very much for coming. I hope it was for me. It was a pleasure to talk to all of you. So, and I hope we can do it again. Like
also nice.
Yeah. Thank you, Swal, for organizing this.
Yeah. Let's see how. If you have any ideas on how to do it, because like I'm really just like trying random stuff, so I'm not entirely sure what makes sense and what not. So if you have any idea or suggestion, please let me know.
Sure will. And thank you so much, Twal, for organizing this. And I loved chatting with all of you. And it was great to hear your thoughts. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, thanks all. It was really nice.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you around.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
To the next one.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Again.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.